Hey, what is up, guys? It is Harrison Barron, the Millennial Entrepreneur. Now, in this video, I want to talk to you guys about at what point should you launch your website versus keeping the flow going and working on it and potentially never launching, right? Because that's something that really does happen. Paralysis analysis is a real thing. Quick shameless plug, check the Facebook group down below, totally free. Would love you guys to join. Looking to connect with and hang out with some entrepreneurs that want to help each other grow businesses and learn from each other. But in this video, we're talking about when should you launch your website. And I'm actually going to use my own agency website for this and potentially even throw in my own personal website because they are not perfect and they're not done. And I want to tell you guys why we already launched. So at what point should you actually launch your website? And this is a question that we get all the time, especially in my agency, Growth Generators, where, hey, I built the website, or you guys built the website, but we're missing products, or we don't have this, or there's always a million different things that people say that, oh, I can't launch my website. Might not be a logo, could be, the fonts aren't right, the coloring's wrong. There's a lot of different reasons that people have that all go into not launching the website. And that doesn't really make sense to me because when you launch your website, there's a variety of different things that are going to happen. Number one, when you launch your website, it is going to get into what's called the Google sandbox. It's through Google Search Console, and you plug it in, you basically say, hey, we have a website now. And Google Search Console says, great, sounds good. And you just kind of sit there and wait. And wait, and wait. And you wait for 3 to 9 months-ish, somewhere in there, depending on how much Google actually trusts you. And the reason why they do that is they want to make sure that you're legit. They want to make sure that you're not there to essentially screw anyone over. They don't like that. So you launch your website and they don't send you really any traffic. So launching your website right off the bat is always a better thing to do it early than late, because if you wait, then you have to prolong that period of time in Google Sandbox. It's awful, honestly, because it doesn't matter how much work you do in there, you're not going to get through it any faster. Number two, people, for whatever reason, think that their website is going to be viral. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but chances are pretty good it's not going to go viral. Most websites have tons of iterations. They've been around for years and years and years, and those are the successful ones. The reason why you don't see the unsuccessful ones is because they've never gotten traffic and people either waited or a variety of their own reasons, their website really never got off the ground. They maybe have not seen the results that they were hoping for, or they launched and just nobody really bought their items or reached out or anything like that. These are all reasons why people wouldn't or are afraid to launch a website or don't follow through with their website. So launching your website, getting that Google Search Console, and having realistic expectations to say, you know what, people might not just flock to my website, and that's okay. There are exceptions to that rule. Number one is social media. TikTok, YouTube, Google. I'm going to just throw Google in there if you're famous or anything. If you have a following in any of those, chances are pretty good your website is going to launch. And if that's the case, this is the only time I recommend it, make sure your website's perfect. But the 99% of other people that don't have that luxury of a following on YouTube or a massive TikTok or Instagram or Facebook following, or you're famous, not too many people are going to visit your website. I'm not saying nobody's going to visit your website. Your friends, family, potential customers will visit your website early on if you mention it to them. But the overwhelming majority of people aren't just going to flock to your website. You're not going to be getting hundreds, if not thousands of visitors per day. You might be lucky if you break 10 visitors per day. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's really the case. Most people get 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 visitors per day on their website, especially when it's just launched. So when do you actually launch the website? That's really the core of it. And unless you meet that 1% thing, where qualification where you already have this following, then you shouldn't launch your website if that's the case. But for everybody else, the 99%, launch early and launch and get feedback. Feedback is the best stuff ever. And I want to dive into actually our agency website because there's still things that need to be done on the website. And that's okay. It's a constant work in progress. I've built my website over and over and over again. I probably had 3 major overhauls of the website, and each overhaul has consisted of massive changes throughout that whole period. So if you look at our first website to now when we were Barron Media Group, it's not even the same thing. And I'm so glad that we've gotten better and we've made more changes, and it's just an overall better customer experience. These are all things that really help make a website stand out, and you're not going to get that information unless you have a website live. The reason why really good websites keep thriving is because people give good feedback. So without further ado, let's jump into our agency website here. And this is not to toot our own horn. It's built on Webflow. I just covered Webflow in the last video. But this is it. This is the website. It's nothing over the top. It's, and we build websites. It's nothing crazy, but it looks simple. It looks clean. And there's a couple things that we want to change on it, right? We have web design, development, right? Content creation. We have some things moving in here. It looks good. I'm actually really, really happy with it, but it doesn't have anything that's, jaw-dropping, that really kind of takes to the next level. It's just a simple, clean design, and I'm really happy about that. Don't think I'm not happy. I really like this simple, clean design. I really like white space. That is just my favorite thing on there. But if you look at it, right, there's really not too many services. We have web design, SEO implementation, backlinking, inbound marketing. We have content, and we have an extremely active blog. That's it, right? We're talking about 8-10 pages on there, minus the amount of blog pages. And the reason why we did that is a couple different things. One, just like I told you guys, we wanted to get it into the Google Sandbox. So we actually launched this website in November, December, and we fully rolled it out in February. Now, our traffic is slowly climbing, and we're extremely happy about that. But we did that so we could start getting in that process. We didn't tell anybody about it. We didn't mention it to a lot of people because we wanted it to sit in that Google Sandbox and slowly get through the sandbox. And then once it started to crack through the sandbox, that's when we rolled out the full-blown Growth Generators website, and we started telling people about it. Now, there's a lot that needs to be done with it. We need a whole case study page, at least for us. I mean, every industry is going to be different, but we need a case study page, in my opinion. I would love to have a projects page and things, project page. Maybe it's what we did. It could be, there's obviously case studies, but, there are not so much blogs, but hey, here's an info course. Here's a free, we don't have anything free on the website right now, which drives me nuts. We have to make things that we can give away in order to capture emails. The only thing that we have on our blog is just, hey, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a quick sign up form right there. Right there. Did you enjoy this? If you did, email, first name, last name. And that's it. We don't give away anything. So not to take my own advice, but having a freebie on there that pops up because we use HubSpot right down here would be huge for us. So these are all different aspects of the website that we would love to have, but we don't have yet. And we're an agency that builds websites. We happen to be really, really busy right now, and I'm extremely happy about that, where we can't spend a ton of time on it. But the thing is, we launched our website, and we're getting business and getting traffic to our website already. That was our number one priority, is getting traffic to the website. Everything else, fixing, tweaking, and things like that, those minor details are going to actually come from other people, right? Somebody told me, hey, you should give away a freebie. And I knew that, but it wasn't high enough on my priority list. And that person was like, you have a lot of really good information on your website. Give away a freebie. Maybe it's the best, 25 tips for MSPs or IT companies, or 10 tips for your website. Anything that we could give away and make for somebody where they could put in their information and they get something back to add to our email list is going to help it grow. But it's the feedback that we get from other people that makes our website better and better. And this has been the case with all of our websites. When somebody says, hey, do you do this? Makes me think, do I do that? It's binary. It's yes or no. But if I do, well, I need to put a page on there if somebody's asking about it, because that person had the courage to come up to me and say, hey, do you do this? As opposed to not saying anything about it. So they're curious to know. How many other people visiting the website are curious to know about that? Now, if it just happens to be one person and you talk to hundreds of people and you've never heard it otherwise, is it really worth building one page for that potential one person? Yes or no? That's what you have to ask yourself building your own website or hiring somebody else to build your website. But I always tell people, launch early so you can get through that search console and then keep improving it over time. If you're building your own website, this should be a part of every single day. Spend 30 minutes on your website and keep improving it, and keep improving it, and keep improving it. When I say improve, I don't just mean the design of it and the way it looks. I mean add content to it so Google can send you traffic. Maybe make Instagram videos or TikToks or anything like, any social media platform where you can build traffic and people seeing you to drive them back to the website. I just was on TikTok earlier today, and I saw this really cool kind of steampunk brass lighter torch type thing. It was really, really cool. They had a bunch of them on there. And I was like, wow, that's really, really cool. Guess what I did? I went to their website because of a TikTok. Now, their website happened to be pretty good, but that's a way to drive traffic back to your website. So don't think, oh my God, what's that next, that next platform that I could be on or anything like that. Just start making content today. Work on your website. If you get 1,000 people to your website and not one purchase, you know that you have to fix your store. I mean, that's a dead giveaway. But look at the way people interact with your website. I literally talk about it on the last video. Think about the ways that people interact with your website, what you're hearing from other people, and make those changes so your website can constantly get better. I hope this video helps. I really enjoy these kinds of things. This is kind of spur of the moment, and I was like, you know what? What people ask me this all the time, and I never give the information because I'm like, you should launch when you're ready to launch. And that's not the case. You should launch early. And the people that I usually tell that to don't like that answer. But unfortunately, that's realistic. Launch early, and I promise it's going to pay itself off, because you always think to yourself, oh, I wish I did that, or I wish I did that, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. I wish I did that. I could have done that. Had I known, I would have done it then. This is your message. This is me telling you, launch early and fix everything along the way. Because when you hit launch, when you publish that website, when you connect that domain, I'm sad. I hate saying it, because the traffic that you're going to get is not going to be earth-shattering unless you already have a massive following or a really aggressive marketing plan. That's the only other real case in that. But launch it and let it go through the search console, the sandbox, and eventually start getting traffic. But if you wait 6 months or 1 year, now you got to wait another 3 to 9 months after you launch the website. And honestly, who wants to do that? So I hope this video helps. I hope you guys found value in this. If you guys did, hit that like button. Feel free to join my Facebook group, subscribe, notification bell. And if you guys ever need help with any of this, feel free to visit my agency, growth-generators.com. We'd love to help you guys. All right, other than that, bye.